Well, Steve, we're here to talk about the Halo Infinite test beta flight of sorts that we got a chance to take a look at. This is the first time it's been offered, and let's go over some of the things that maybe stood out or maybe were disappointing, but let's kick this off. What were your first impressions jumping into this?
Well, first off, I knew there was going to be issues with server problems as they already highlighted this, and you get the game for the inside hub. And when I sort of started the game, it actually said I wasn't authorized, so I had to do a hard restart on the Xbox. But once I got through that sort of little barrier, then obviously the main screen comes on, and I love the music, the
Yes.
intro music, and away you go. How did you get on with the server issues? Did you have any, or did you experience any?
I did actually. When I joined in, I had the same kind of error screen you did actually, and I thought, oh no, what if I didn't register properly? What's happened? But the next time I went to attempt it, it totally worked. And there was some server issues beyond that though. When I got into the game, several games in, I would have a disconnect or I would experience a lot of lag. But
Yeah.
this is a test server issue. They're testing and putting a lot of load on these servers just to detect these problems. That's kind of the point. So it's
Yes.
hard to hold that against it because once I got into it, it met me with that Halo action that I'm used to, and not
Yes.
like Halo in the way of 4 and 5. It was more like Halo 3, and I think that's what a
Yes.
lot of people were really clamoring for.
Yes, and like I was saying, like when you start off on the main screen, you get the multiplayer, but you also get like a training ground where you can actually test all the different weapons that's on offer in
Yeah.
this test. And I have to say, I did like the mechanics of the weapons. They feel they I've noticed an improvement from the previous Halo, that they've really worked hard on the actual gunfire and the mechanics of the guns and the
Yeah.
weapons.
Everything seems to have a little bit more weight. So it's a little slower, but that gives your weapon a little heavier of a feeling. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of different things on display for the test range. That's why they included it. There's several new
Yes.
kinds of guns that they're adding. This is the first time we're seeing things like the Ravager or the Commando rifle. There's a lot
Yeah.
of these different things. They do fit into normal video game tropes, though. For
Yes.
example, the Ravager, I believe, is just basically a railgun. We've seen railguns in Halo before, so some of it seems kind of new, but it
Yeah.
doesn't seem to be taking any risky decisions. There's just kind of the weapons you would expect to find.
That's right. And the other thing I did like on the touch in this beta as well was they actually give you like a bit of an insight of like the vehicles that's coming later on, and they've added a lot more customization for
Yeah.
your character. So it's not just like red and blue, multicolors, more fluorescently like blue colors, reds, greens, which I thought was a nice touch. So, and then obviously they give you credit as well that you can actually purchase or upgrade your Spartan, so to speak, sort of like with the helmet, the knee pads, even prosthetic legs. You can even put them
Yeah.
on, and arms. So I did like that. It was a nice little touch of giving insight, and that might come out in the next beta, which I'm looking forward to. But let's now get into the gameplay itself. How did you find that?
Well, I liked that it was a return to normal, Halo 3 that is, where everything's a little heavier, a little more grounded. In 4 and 5 it got much quicker and it didn't sit well with a lot of fans. But I think this one does a good job of bringing that back, that Halo 3 action. A little slower, a little more methodical. And
Yes.
everything was feeling really good. All these new weapons are pretty interesting, pretty good to use. You're fighting bots. That's worth mentioning. It's not quite a PvP scenario yet.
No.
But that is supposed to come in later betas. So we're just
Yeah.
checking this out with bots, and they get pretty tough. So it was a pretty good pushback. I met some resistance. It was pretty good.
No, I was going to really sort of touch on what you were just saying there, because it was over, I believe, three days, 3 or 4 days. And what I did notice was the first time I jumped on, I thought I feel like I'm pretty good at this game. But then the next day they sort of cranked up the AIs, and they were ruthless. It was
Yeah.
harder to kill. I noticed they were sort of more like in packs as well. When you sort of like you start off like the first part of the game, and you sort of go around a corner and you see all 4 of them there, and they're just throwing grenades.
Yeah.
Grenades at you. You've got no chance on that front. But I did also notice as well is each map was different on the weapon location, or they changed the weapons, because there was 3 maps over, I think, over the 3 days or the course of the test.
Yeah.
And the weapons sort of changed around a bit. You didn't always get the sniper rifle in the tower, or the shotgun. It could be the heat wave or a new weapon, which I thought was good. So that made it more interesting as well, that you weren't getting the same weapon each time a map loaded up.
Yeah, that's sort of a new thing for Halo. If they're switching weapon spawns and stuff like that, that's a little bit of creative changes happening, and that might be something that's exciting.
Yeah. Oh, and another thing I found by accident is you can actually drop your weapon as well, which I believe was never in a Halo game. So, and I had to read up on it because I thought, what just happened? Where's my gun? It dropped on the floor. And you can actually when you pick up weapons and you've got something a bit more powerful, but you're inexperienced, you can actually drop the weapon for your teammate that knows how to use it, and then you can, it's all team-based.
That's cool.
Which points me into sort of the idea of like, I didn't have no one talking to me on mics. I don't know if everyone's muted. I found a lot of the people you teamed up with, they just went off and done their own thing.
Yeah.
Which I found a bit frustrating. I had my mic ready to go. I thought we would do this like a tactical team and get in there, but everyone's just going off and doing their own thing, which I did find a bit frustrating sometimes, because I know this is a team-based game, and especially when the bots or the AIs were as powerful as they were, you can't take them out by yourself.
Yeah, you really have to stick together. They did show that very well. Those bots are punishing.
Yes.
Well, that was just a little bit of what we had to think about after playing this Halo Flight. Now, it was pretty exciting for me to check out what's new, what's old, and I'm still looking forward to the Halo Infinite release, especially now. But do you think this beta was effective, Steve? Did this get you hyped for the game?
Definitely. Very much. I love the whole gameplay itself. Everything, visually it looks nice. I like the music in the background, sort of keep you going.
Oh yeah.
I found the respawning was quick as well. I know there was some server issues, but it was still pretty quick. And especially when they had how many participants in this beta test over the weekend. So I'm really looking forward to playing this game and the campaign and checking out the vehicles and the next beta test.
Oh yeah.
Earn more kills than your opponents to win.